The following is a presentation of the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.
You are listening to Audio Suplex Live.
How is everybody doing this week?
Everybody's doing this week fine.
We are doing this week very well. We had we are back again for another episode of Audio Suplex Live. We had a successful evening last night at NOW's Uprising 12 show.
Exciting.
We got to do a street fight. We got to film that, so you guys can look forward to that coming out on our YouTube channel pretty soon here. So
our shirts.
Yes, that's it. We're burying the lead here. If you guys are watching this on YouTube and you have that capability, we have Audio Suplex Live merch.
We made it.
We have t-shirts. We are actually like officially official now. So
semi-official.
Wait. So you have a podcast?
Yeah, actually. You're on it right now.
Oh.
That's what this is. We're not just hanging out and talking.
Meta Suplex Live.
Oh, shit. I thought you guys just like really liked me and just wanted to hang out for an afternoon.
Yeah, we know that's not the truth.
Not even
right. Just sell me for your beautiful good looks.
Yeah, so we are officially official now. We have official Audio Suplex Live t-shirts. They are available. We have sizes left, guys. So if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, you're a fan of the show, you want to support, get at us on Facebook, send us a message, send me a letter, tweet at us at Audio Suplex Live. We can work something out to get you a shirt shipped to your doorstep. They're comfortable.
$15.
I wore it yesterday all day, and I was not uncomfortable.
They're really good. The material is really nice.
They look good.
Thick.
They
They're not
look
thin. I don't know. I like it.
They look good under a button-up, and they look good with the sleeves rolled up. They look good in any capacity.
They look good in one of those ways.
Are they one of those antimicrobial shirts?
They are not. We did not go to Under Armour and say hey, we need some heavy duty. We should get some
They would cost a lot more.
They're technically it's for wrestling, so I mean those guys need to wear those shirts repeatedly, and they don't always get to go to a laundromat. So
you can just buy more than one.
I've smelled some bad wrestling gear in my day, and it's disgusting. So
speaking of bad wrestling gear, no, I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
How was your week, Travis?
My week was fantastic, man. We had a really good week. Like I said, we did NOW Uprising 12. The footage for that will be out sooner than later. We're going to work tirelessly to get that out to you guys. But look forward to that. That was two really good matches that we did. We did Alan Graves versus Cassidy Keith. And then we did Colt Daniels versus Alex Jordan, who has been on the show before, as a Glass City street fight. And it went everywhere.
Brutal.
Yeah, I actually thought it was going to go to the street for a minute. Like it was all over the Belief Center last night. So, but anyway, that's about enough of us. So we are joined again, of course, this week by Sean Paul. Sean Paul is going to be becoming like the official chat operator for Audio Suplex Live. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube Live, make sure you guys type obscenities to Sean, and
please.
Also, if you guys
could limit the dick pics to under 12 inches. That's all I ask.
If you guys could type mean things about the Green Bay Packers in there, that'd be really cool of you.
Yeah.
And of course,
and then if they really want to get banned for the rest of their life, go ahead.
Yeah, Sean does have the band hammer. He's ready to throw it down. So, and of course, producing behind the ones and twos this week, of course, Joe Kucher. How are you doing, Joe? I make Joe talk on the mic.
Oh, doing good.
Awesome, man. So let's get down to the brass tacks of this week. The meat and potatoes, Corey.
Yes, the meat and potatoes of the episode.
The meat and potatoes. So we actually have a guest coming on today. It's Eric Emanon from the IndyCard Mafia, popular indie tag team. Yeah, we're going to have him on. We're going to talk about his life on the road. We're going to talk about all of his stuff. And I think, Joe, did you already call him in?
Yep.
Hey, there he is.
There he is. He's with us already.
Hey, guys.
Eric, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We are fantastic. We are all a little sleepy today. I think you
hungover.
Yeah,
got my big, awesome cup of coffee here.
Yeah, that's a good-looking cup of coffee right there. I could actually use something about that.
That's a good-looking hat as well. I like your baseball hat.
This is a great hat. It's just this is my Ortiz one.
Nice. Beautiful.
I got this last year. Actually, my tag partner bought this for me last year. We walked into a mall together, and he went into a Lids, and Tommy comes back, and he goes, "Hey, look what I got you. I hate it. Now take it." And I was like, "What is this?" And he's my tag partner, believe it or not, diehard Yankees fan.
Oh God.
Yeesh.
I'm not. Well, he grew up in New York City, so I can't really knock him for that. But like, it's how do we get along? You know?
Yeah.
It's you just got to make sure that when you're on the road, you're not talking about baseball. Just anything but just don't talk about baseball. So
yeah.
So awesome, man. Welcome to the show. We're super glad to have you. And that actually, I'm glad you brought up Tommy and everything like that, because the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to all of our listeners. Tell us who you are. Tell us about the IndyCar Mafia, how that got started, and we'll go from there.
So, for those who don't know me, I am Eric Emanon. I am one half of the IndyCar Mafia. Thomas Brewington, the project, as most people call him. If you can see right here, this is his face.
Looks just like him.
Looks just like him. I know a really cool guy over at IndyCar Media who designed that shirt. You can find that on the site. Shameless plug. But yeah, me and Tommy have been together for 3.5 years now as a tag team. Won a ton of tag titles all over the place. We currently hold 3 tag titles. That's the NOW. You guys know that place very well. It's probably very near and dear to your heart. Where else? In Your Face Wrestling, which is in like the eastern capital region of New York. And then there is the Sanctuary Stunt Studio in Hazleton, Pennsylvania. So those are our big 3 right now. And then myself, I am the Suicidal 6-Way champion for IWF in my, I would say, my residing town of Brockport, New York right now.
Awesome. So you are, and I was kind of talking to you about this earlier when we were kind of setting up, getting you on the show. You guys are probably, because I follow you guys both on Instagram and I follow you guys on like different social media and stuff like that. You guys are, no hyperbole, one of the busiest teams or individual wrestlers that I see.
Yeah.
You know, because not only are you guys always on the road, you know, hitting these different towns and everything for all your different promotions you're working, but you as well, you handle, from what I can posit, like all of like the design of the merchandise and all the branding and so you are definitely some of the busiest guys we've seen. So
for sure.
Yeah, it's exhausting sometimes because I mean some weekends will be we've got this what we call Hell Trip. It's Hazleton, Pennsylvania on a Friday night. Then we'll stay in Hazleton. We'll wake up the next morning. We'll drive all the way across PA to Toledo, Ohio for NOW. And then we'll go from Toledo, Ohio back home to New York and then all the way back across to Rhode Island. So we'll get home about 6:30, 7 a.m. Monday morning after traveling all weekend, like nonstop driving. Like, it's why we call it the Hell Trip, is because we sleep maybe like 3 hours a piece.
That's crazy.
It's exhausting, but it's worth it because you know, we get to wrestle in different areas, and every area's got their own style of wrestling, and you kind of have to adapt. So we have to be wrestling chameleons, if you will, to the styles that the areas like. Mm-hmm. Especially when we go to the South, it's weird because in the South, it's way different than it is up here in the Northeast. It's way different than it is in the Midwest. It's way different than it is in the New England area. So you really got to be adaptable to your environment.
Right. Where's your favorite area to wrestle then? If they're all different styles,
everywhere.
You like them all.
I love to wrestle everywhere because it gets to hit all. It hits all those special points in your career. You know, it's like you get to hit all those like fun points where you know in the South I get to do a little more slowed down, classic action. Then when we can pepper in some super indie stuff, you know, the crowd kind of loses their mind because they don't see a ton of it, but when they do see it, they appreciate it. And then like the Midwest, it's super slowed down TV, old school because of like OVW and stuff like that, and IWA. They're used to like that slower paced stuff. So once they see super indie, they're like, like we could do without it.
Yeah,
like, it was cool.
Not really cool into flippy shit. So
yeah, and they could care less. They're the kind of crowd that will literally love an arm wringer match where you literally just work an arm for 10, 15 minutes. Like they're the people that would appreciate a Broadway, you know. And, you know, like the New England district, or the area, I should say, they love their high spots, man. They love their super indie. Yeah. It's wild up there. It really is. It's crazy.
You have, like, CZW kind of, like, up in that area. And
yeah, CZW's in, like, Jersey, Philly area, and that's like, that's out like by the one company we work in PA, the Sanctuary Stunt Studio, and it's super cool over there. What we do there is way different than the wrestling we do anywhere else, though, because like we wrestle other places, but here we actually do like stunt fighting, which is pretty. It's wild. Like it's
I've
way
seen
different.
pictures.
And I would work 1,000 stunt fights at the Sanctuary just because of the fact that I feel 100% going into the fight and 100% going out of the fight, you know? So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I actually wanted to ask you about the Sanctuary because we've seen pictures of the venue posted on.
It looks sick.
It's insane. Like
it's a church.
Yeah.
It's a converted church that got converted into this crazy studio. And it's like super high production. John Trotsky over there did an amazing job bringing to life this insane creation that pumps out some of the best footage I have of myself as a wrestler in the 10 years of me wrestling, which is really cool. And I get to work people there that I wouldn't get to fight anywhere else. Like I got to go one-on-one with Victor Andrews in the Sanctuary title tournament that they had. And this guy he did a match for NXT. He's worked with Ring of Honor. I think he just worked on SmackDown recently too. So like, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to get in the ring with this kid anywhere, but I got that opportunity at the Sanctuary. So it's cool. And like I said, we were able to go in there and do like, and that's the cool thing about the Sanctuary is it's all like choreographed stunt fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a live stream of a live. It's more of a play than anything. And everything we do there is like super like strict timelines and everything's like super scripted on because it's essentially a TV show,
right?
And after it goes off the air, we all go out. We normally do a final bow in front of the crowd, and that's the other thing too is like you can have like the last time I was down there was like 75 people there, and it was just so loud. It felt like there was 1,000 people there because it's in a church, so it's just. Everyone starts cheering or booing you. In my case, they're booing the hell out of me. I'm a villain, man, and it's awesome. Like I get to be a villain there, and it's super cool. Because you help build those heroes' stories,
right? And
it's just, dude, it's such a surreal place. Like you can just, I get hit sometimes, and I'll just like lay down and I'll stare at the ceiling, and I'm like, this is weird. This is cool. This is weird.
Yeah, I'm actually going to add that to like our list of stuff that we have to do. We have to get that to a show there. Yeah, because that sounds like the production is like something I am super into. Like I love. Yeah, I'm like a big Lucha Underground fan. We had some guys on from Dayton not too long ago who were doing a promotion called Poser, which they're kind of like a Lucha Underground meets like I don't even know how to explain
over the top.
Yeah, they're crazy. Yeah. But I love that there's like this like niche in wrestling now where you can have this like super high production value meets like crazy storytelling, plus with like the choreographed, stunt fighting essentially. So
and they just got done doing this huge storyline with this kid we beat up. His name was Angus Bedford, and I don't know if you saw this. It was probably like a year and a half ago that it started. We stole this kid's stick pony. Like he was a cowboy, but he had a stick pony. And Tommy looked at the promoter one day. He goes, "John, I'm gonna go out there and steal that kid's stick pony." And John goes, "Whatever, I don't care." And Tommy was like, "Okay." So he went out and like he stole the stick pony, and it turned into this massive, crazy story where, we stole his stick pony. He wanted his stick pony back. I ended up giving him an awful waffle, and then like a kid did a frog splash to the stick pony. Like it was hysterical, and it just built up until this kid was like obsessed with getting this stick pony back, and that was his goal. And so at the anniversary show last year, we had a ladder match for the stick pony. Like the stick pony suspended above the ring, and we had a ladder match for it. And, we put the kid over big. He had his big, glorious moment. He's reunited with his stick pony, and then his cousin turns on him.
Oh,
and we
no.
take the stick pony. Yeah, we take the stick pony. We drag Angus over, and we chop the stick pony up on a table saw.
You heathens.
Wow, yeah, right? You're definitely healed.
And so it sends this kid insane, right? So his goal is to like start getting revenge on everybody that turned him into this monster. He became this monster, Anguish. And if you've ever seen like the Clayface videos online, that's essentially what Angus became as Anguish. And so he had this year-long storyline with this guy Jason King where he was like showing up in the ring and like stealing people from Jason King, and then like he stole his girlfriend, and then like it was just like this crazy insane production that just kept going and going. And I was like, how can they top it this week? How can they top it this week? And that's the other thing too, they are on every Friday night. Oh, wow. So it's like we have the ability to tell that story every single night, every week Friday. Right, and it's a live stream, so it's instantly available. And it was one of the craziest stories I think I've ever been able to like see on the indies, because like the way it unfolded and the way like they paid it off at the end, like it was wild. And it was such like it's literally like I look at the kid and I was like, we did this to you and I'm so sorry.
It started off with something so simple as I'm just going to steal this pony, and then it blew up into this huge thing. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So we first got introduced to you in the IndyCar Mafia through your work here in NOW. Obviously, you guys are the current NOW Tag Team Champions. I have been told that we have to let you know that the Natural Aces do have their eyes on those belts and that they are looking forward to.
They should, and I'm going to kick them in the face for it.
But so when you guys work here, you guys obviously work heel. Obviously in the Sanctuary, you just told us that you work heel. Do you guys ever get a chance when you're out on the road at some of these other promotions that you're working to work babyface, or do you guys primarily just kind of like stick to?
So it's kind of weird the way it works. Like I hate the terms heels and babyfaces. Like it's so like early 1990s, like kayfabe still exists. Kind of thing.
Right.
I do play the role of the villain very often.
Right.
And I love being a villain because it's me. Like it's me turned up to 15, and I go out there and I yell at people, and it's very relaxing.
Yes. Get all that frustration out.
I do get the opportunity to be a good guy sometimes, and I get to babyface it up with the crowd. My home promotion, IWF in Brockport, New York. I am over like Rover there, and like. I could literally go out there and probably kick a baby, and they'd be like, "He kicked a baby! Yeah, we love you!" Like it's wild. I literally can do no wrong there, and it was cool there because we got the opportunity to do something different. Me and Tommy travel all over the place. We do tag team work everywhere. This is the one place I actually get to do singles work, and we separated each other on the first show. We had our matches. We came out. And Tommy came out, and I was like, I got this, man. I got this. And I worked the promoter's son on the first show. Kid put me over big. It was awesome. Tommy came out to celebrate with me and our other partner, Cassie's Kucher. Came out, celebrate. Tommy put me on his shoulders. He's parading me around. Electric chair drop, catches me, giving me a big German suplex, turns on me. The entire crowd loses their mind. Literally, there's a photo on there of somebody screaming at Tommy, pointing at him in the ring, and he's like, I cheered for you. I cheered for you. I hate you so much. And it turned, and Nice. It was awesome. And we spent the next, 6 or 7 months fighting each other, and it was super cool. We had our big payoff, because the whole story was, it's a new promotion for all of us. And how do you make a name for yourself? Well, you go in and you beat up the hometown kid.
Right.
It just happened to be the hometown kid was his tag team partner. So, it's an understandable story. I get where he's coming from, but now I have to kick your face in. And so we had this huge blow-off match where we beat the piss out of each other, and it was awesome. It was a super cool story. It was super fun. We teamed together for a little bit. Now I'm back doing singles work. Like I said, I'm the Suicidal Six-Way champion, which is super awesome. I get to fight 6 people every show, and it's a cool stipulation. The title itself, it's 6-man matches.
Okay.
And you don't know who your opponents are until right before they come out of the curtain. And so essentially as they're coming to the ring, you're like, oh, I get to fight this guy. So you kind of have to be prepared for everything.
Right.
And you don't know the stipulation until right before the bell rings.
So each match has a different stipulation to it?
Exactly. So the first one was a scramble. The second one was elimination. The third one, I don't know what it's going to be. I actually am defending the title at Project Dive in Hazleton on the 11th. And it's already been announced because it's not IWF that they're doing it. So we kind of changed things up. They've announced 4 competitors so far. So I've got Ace Austin, Gavin Glass, Kenny Bangle, and Trajan Chubby Daddy Horn.
Excellent.
And then there's a 5th mystery opponent who I don't know.
So mystery opponent, and then you still don't even know what the stipulation of the match is actually going to be.
I think they announced it as a traditional 6-way, so it's first pinfall wins.
Okay, so
that's exhausting already because, I can lose.
Yeah, and you don't even have to...
I give you 1,000 different ways I can lose.
Yes.
At least with something like elimination, there's always that chance that I can make it out. Like, we had the elimination match at IWF, and I just barely scraped by because they had a storyline going on with one of the guys in my match. and I take this crazy, like, through the ropes lung blower. I hit the ground. The kid scampers over to go pin me, and music hits. And instead of pinning me, he gets up and gets rolled up by another guy. So it's like he got distracted just long enough for me to kind of regain myself, and I came in, got the win on the next guy, shortly after. So it's a breathtaking thrill ride the entire time.
I like that idea. It's a sweet idea for a title.
I love championships like where there's some sort of stipulation involved with it. Like Rockstar has the like Lucha Core title, which has like their own specific rules to that title. It's like a 20-minute ring out count or whatever. Yeah, and stuff like that. But like, I love titles like that where they have like their own specific kind of rule set to it. So
yeah, and like it could be anything. It could be a ladder match, it could be a cage match, it could be a beat the clock, essentially, where we get 20 minutes and the last person to get a pinfall wins. So I could lose that title 7-8 times in that match,
and then still
I'm the last person to get the pinfall.
Yeah, I'd like to see a gauntlet with that. That'd be kind of cool. Like,
right? Yeah, and I think that's it's all stuff that's been discussed. That's the exciting part.
There's a lot you can do with it. Yeah.
There's a ton you can do with it, and that also horrifies me because that's a ton I have to be prepared for.
So kind of going back to something you kind of touched on earlier, and this I actually didn't even have prepared to talk about, but I do want to talk about it because I'm kind of curious on your feelings about this. So let's talk about kayfabe and how it kind of fits in the world of like both indie wrestling in 2017 and kind of just where it fits in like wrestling in general. Because like I personally am of the mindset that where there really is no black and white heel and babyface anymore. And kayfabe with the advent of like social media and Twitter, like it's really hard to kind of maintain your persona, 24/7. Like it's different than how it was back in the day where there wasn't like people following you around airports with Snapchat or whatever. But like,
right.
I'm me. Like that's Eric Emanon. You're getting me. It's 110% me the entire time. When I come out to the ring and I jump on the mic, the things I say, it's me. Like, and so I don't really feel like I'm a character because it's me. Like the character of Eric Emanon is me, and that's really what it comes down to. I'm either a villain or a hero, and if I'm a hero, like you're gonna love watching me come back after I get beat up. Hopefully. When I'm a villain, hopefully you hate me beating the hell out of somebody, but sometimes like I'll be a villain and get cheered, and it's weird because it's like I'm just like I'll go out there and it's like the Stone Cold effect, and I'll beat somebody up and people are like, yeah, and I'm like, no, I don't need your validation.
Right.
I don't need you like that. I didn't get here because you cheered me. I got here because people noticed me, and I'm gonna keep doing what got me. Like Pete Rose always said it best. Like you never change your swing. You only change how you do it. Like you never change your swing. That's what got you there. And so I'm not going to change me ever. Like it's how I got this far is by being me. And why would I be a character at this point? It's what I'm comfortable with.
Right.
Excellent.
So, but with kayfabe's tough because it's like a lot of people want to know your real life. Mm-hmm. And like I keep my real life and my professional life very separate. Like it's nobody's business.
Right.
I have a question. I know we talked about this a little bit earlier. You guys travel a lot, so you said you have that hell trip. You go all around. What do you guys do in the car while you guys are driving?
Lots of throwback 90s music.
And besides mooning truckers all day.
Yeah, like we pull a lot of pranks on each other if we fall asleep.
Of course.
So I normally try to drive so I don't fall asleep. But like it's horrible. We'll sing a ton of Backstreet Boys for no reason because
I was actually just gonna ask, like when we say 90s music, like I'm a big 90s alt guy, like but I'm also like a heavy appreciator of like 90s R&B. Oh, that's great.
It's everything. Like you name it, chances are we probably listen to it.
Spice Girls Wannabe.
Yep.
Of course.
Come on. Sean, that's like standard issue. That's like Tonka's My First 90s.
You know what though? I'll say this much. Now it's okay for everyone to say like, "Oh, I like the Spice Girls." I liked the Spice Girls back in like the 90s when I was young, and it wasn't cool, and it was all about girl power and shit. And
right.
Like,
don't tell people that, Sean.
Okay.
There was one time that we were driving through the suburbs of this one small town at like 9 a.m, and I was hanging out of my window screaming Tupac at like passerby. And Tommy's like, "Sit down, you're gonna get me in trouble." And I'm like, "Nah, fam, I'm good." I was like, I need to get this out. And like I said, there was one time where we turned on like a 90s playlist on Spotify for like 4 hours in the middle of Tennessee. That was interesting. So it's just there's a lot of like crazy playlists that we've put together just of the most random things, like Aqua Barbie Girl.
Oh, of course.
We turned it on repeat one time to see how long we could listen. Six playthroughs is about how far we got.
We're going to link below, but Eric's going to put together a 90s road trip mix for you guys on Spotify, and we'll like we'll put a link to it. So
right.
A little extra Audio Suplex Live flavor there for you guys. So that's a good way to get heel heat, though. Drive through like a nice little like southern town or something like that, and just blast some Tupac at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to work that town, just do it. Just run it, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, we I think because we obviously did like our first time when we were going to New Orleans, Louisiana, we drove through Alabama and like go to. As soon as I saw Welcome to Alabama, I'm like, yo, give me that Spotify.
Let me get
Skinner, Sweet Home Alabama, and I'm just screaming it. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, this is a bucket list item. This has nothing to do with wrestling or anything. This is a personal bucket list item. I need to accomplish
Absolutely.
this.
That's actually me whenever I drive into Chicago. I always put on Kanye. Like, that's the first thing I have to do when I drive into Chicago.
I always put on No Sleep Till Brooklyn when I'm driving to New York City.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to.
That's a go-to.
Yeah, you got to.
That's a go-to. When we went down to wrestle for a bunch of companies down there, we actually stayed in Brooklyn. So as we're crossing the Verrazano, we're just screaming "No Sleep Till Brooklyn."
Absolutely.
It was also probably like 4 a.m, so we were just trying to stay awake.
No sleep for anybody.
My first New York City experience, right? Driving, I got across the Verrazano and I got onto the Belt Parkway. I think it's the Belt Parkway.
Yeah.
Right by Coney Island, and I'm driving. There's no traffic, and I'm like, "What's the speed limit here?" Tommy's like, "I don't know. I take the train everywhere." And I was like, "Well, that's not helpful." And I'm driving along. I'm doing like 55. It turned out it was like 30, but I was doing 55 because I had no idea. And I see like in my driver's side mirror, I'm looking. And I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And it's just I see this like white ball, and I'm like, "What is that?" And it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
No.
And then this taxi goes flying by me with a ton of smoke pouring out behind it. And I was like, well, that was weird. Tommy just looks at me, doesn't miss a beat, and just goes, "Welcome to Brooklyn." I'm like, is this a thing? Like,
I love it.
It was my first time driving in New York City, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that taxi was on fire. Like, is this a thing? Does this happen?
The first time I went to Brooklyn, I went to this neighborhood that was all Jewish people, like very, very hardcore Jewish.
Right.
Like had the
That's
crazy
where I
hats
stayed,
on.
man.
I was like, where are we right now?
Yeah.
Like this is like a whole nother planet.
When you say
And if you went 2 blocks away, it was like the Chinese district.
Right.
Right.
It's so weird.
No, when
And
you say
then you got to the trains. It was just like, yeah, no, I know. It's funny because I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, you're not wrong at all.
I was confused. I was like, what, did we get transported somewhere? Are we in Ohio? Like, what's these Amish looking people? I don't know.
sorry, but when you said Jewish neighborhood, I immediately pictured everybody looking like Modest Yahoo circa like 2003. Like that's what I'm imagining that neighborhood was like.
You're not far off.
No, okay.
You're really not.
All
You're
right.
not.
You're
It was
such a
crazy.
stereotypist.
No, dude, Modest Yahoo
Stereotype.
is sick. Okay, if you don't like Modest Yahoo, you can just
Modest
there's the door,
Yahoo outta
Sean.
here.
dude. You can modesty yourself out. Like, thank you.
At least you got someone to laugh.
Hey, man, as long as the guest pops, that's all I care about.
Oh, that popped me so hard. You have no idea.
That's what she said.
So how did you and Tommy first like link up as wrestlers and as a team, and like was that like something like as soon as you guys like met, you were like, yeah. this is it, like let's go kick people's heads in now?
Absolutely. So it was weird. Like we met because he came up. He was actually brought up to work this company I was working for in Buffalo, New York. I won't say their name because they're closed, and you can probably tell what I'm doing behind this.
Yeah.
So, F that place. So yeah, we met there and we hit it off. It was mostly like music and like personal experiences that we shared. Like when we just started talking, I was like, man, like this dude is awesome. And like we both shared like a love for strong style, and we both shared a love for like Japanese wrestling and stuff like that. I was like, man, this kid's cool. And so like we were talking. And like he came up a few shows, and I go, hey man, like at the time, the IndyCar Mafia was a joke. Back in like I think it was like 2008 when they were doing like all the WWE guys were tweeting hashtag midcard mafia.
Oh God,
like,
I remember that.
That's shoot how the IndyCar Mafia started. I was like, you guys have the midcard mafia. How about giving them indie guys some love? Like, what about the IndyCar Mafia? And that's literally where it started. Like, it started as me tweeting a joke.
Nice.
And then when I met Tommy, I was like, hey man, like, the brotherhood in this area is dead. Like, we don't. Everybody here stabs each other in the back. Like, your best friend's your bitter enemy because they're gonna be the first person to hold your head like underwater just to get like a grasp at the brass ring if it'll get them that much closer. And I said to Tommy, I was like, let's do something, man. Like, let's do something different. And he goes, hell yeah. And so that's when we started the IndyCar Mafia, like as a team. And like it was more like we're not gonna BS each other in the back because one of my favorite quotes of all time is there's no two words more dangerous in the English language than good job. And I hated getting into the back asking a vet to watch my match. And I walk into the back through the curtain and I'm like, it was all right. And I get a, good job, kid. You watched it? No, I heard the crowd reaction, though. You really had them.
Yeah.
Yep.
How can I get better from that?
Exactly.
How can I improve from that? You know, what can I do to get better? And so me and Tommy started watching each other's matches a lot, and we started growing. And that was when he was Xavier Fate, and you know, we started watching each other's matches, and we were heavily critiquing each other. We were like, listen, this is what you could have done better. I didn't like this. This is also what you did very well. Let's mold it together and see what we can make out of this. And we ended up getting the opportunity to tag a few months after we started, you know, heavily critiquing each other's work. And he was still living in New York City, and you know, coming up here. Once he ended up moving up here, that's when things really like just they took off. We started tagging with each other, and then people are like, okay, we like what you guys are doing. And then I messaged John Trotsky at the end of the year. It was like 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. And I said, hey man, I'd love to come down. And it just took off from there, man. And we haven't stopped. Like the throttle is straight to the floor. It's not coming up anytime soon.
Now, I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
Yeah. Well, that leads us to the hashtag the takeover. What is you guys are in a quest for championships? What is
it's
exactly
the gold rush. It's always the gold rush. It's the takeover. It's always been kind of the mindset that, you know, we want to go in, and if we're not the best guys there, we want to learn from them to become the best guys there. And if we are the best guys there, we want to help that company take over that area.
Right.
And it's not just a takeover thing for us. A lot of people get that confused. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're cocky. You're going to take over." Nah, like it's a group team, you know, environment, and because if I'm the best person on a show, I would hope people would come to me and ask for advice because I want to pass that on. Because if I'm good and they're good, the product is good.
Exactly.
If I'm good and they're horrible,
you're not going to have a good match if the other guy's not good. Yeah.
It's of the mindset of taking everybody and kind of bringing them to either your level or taking yourself and getting it to the level that you need.
Exactly.
To be. Yep.
And just picking the brains of vets, sitting under different learning trees. Like I got the ability to work with Scott Norton, Flash Norton. And to sit under his learning tree, him and Kevin Nash, and just talk was just mind blowing, and it opened my mind. Same with we got the opportunity to work with Brutal Bob Evans and Tough Tim Hughes. Yeah. And that was another situation where, you know, I wasn't the best guy there, but I was wrestling with the best guys there. And we sat down afterwards, and they gave us, you know, all this advice and all these things that I could be doing differently, and gave me all this tape that I could study. And it helped make me a better wrestler in singles and tag team because I was able to pick out what I was doing wrong and then grow from it. And then because I'm able to see that in myself, I'm also able to see that in others and help them grow from it. So when people come to me and they say, hey, can you watch my match? Can you watch my promo? Can you let me know what I can do better to become better? Absolutely. Because if I'm better and you're better, we're all getting better. And that's really what the takeover is all about. It's the takeover, and like I said, the IndyCar Mafia, we only started as a group of people that were going to try and make each other better because we're not going to BS each other. And the takeover, although it's become more of a tag team gimmick, as you know, we are coming to take over, and we're going to win all your gold, and I mean, we're not far off. We've won a ton of tag titles everywhere, but you know, it comes from the hard work and dedication, and that's really what the takeover is all about.
That's awesome. That's actually, I love to hear that kind of like attitude in indie wrestling, because indie wrestling to me, it's gotten to like such a point right now where it's good.
Cutthroat.
But it's also cutthroat. Like you have, but because there is so many good people out there that are making a name for themselves in the indie scene, like you have to really kind of like separate yourself out from the pack a little bit. And
but at the same point in time, those guys who are getting good and they're moving on to bigger places, open holes for guys to move into those spots.
Exactly,
so you watch guys who are working the super indies over here, and then they're going to Japan, and they're going to the UK, and they're going to Australia. They're traveling all over. They are leaving spots open when they're gone. So that's an opportunity for somebody to step up and say, you know what? I'm ready. Let's do this.
Next up, let's go.
Exactly.
So you
takeover.
So you mentioned Japan earlier, being like a big fan of like Japanese wrestling. I just got to ask for personal reasons. Are you keeping up on the G1 at all this year? Or?
I have not watched any of it because I've been so busy with family stuff. Mm-hmm. Tommy has been watching a ton of it, so I've been kind of following his updates.
He posted a picture of himself not too long ago doing the Naito Tranquillo pose, and I popped for that so hard. I'm a big Naito guy anyway, but like
so is he. So he really is.
I'll have to bring that up to him next time you guys are in Toledo. We'll catch up on that and talk about Naito and how great he is. So.
Absolutely, he would love that. He is more of a fan of Japanese wrestling than I am. Mm-hmm. And I'm a pretty big fan of Japanese wrestling in recent years. And when we first met, I was just really getting into Japanese wrestling, and I was like a huge Prince Devitt and Kenny Omega mark. Like those were my go-to guys, and so I would just study. Like when I'm doing cardio at the gym and I'm on like the bike or I'm like running, I'm watching matches, and like that's my time where I get my study in is when I'm doing cardio, and so it's like I would just watch Devitt and I would watch Omega and I would just study their stuff because both of those guys in Japan were amazing. They're still amazing. Like, and Omega is just light. I don't know. I don't get how he's light years better than he was, but he somehow is, and he just continues to get better and better and better.
It's insane.
Right after Omega Okada 2, somebody had tweeted out, and I retweeted it from my own personal account, something to the effect of, I just want to be as good at something in life as Kenny Omega is at professional wrestling.
Exactly.
Like he's just like. He's doing.
If I could barely scrape that and just touch the goodness that is near what Kenny Omega is at wrestling, like.
And he can do it all too. Like he had his time with DDT doing like the comedy stuff and like but then he's also putting on 6-star classics with Kazuchika Okada. Like it's absolutely insane. And like with Ishii and like with Mike Elgin, and he's getting in there with like some of the best and just cranking out stars. Like Dave Meltzer's probably losing his mind at this point. So
absolutely.
So kind of touching on that a little bit, who would you say are some of like your influences when you started kind of developing like your wrestling style that we either like you kind of like incorporate a little bit into your style or like kind of like influenced you?
So it's weird, man, because I'm next March will be 10 years in the business for me.
Oh wow, congratulations.
And so thank you. It's been an exhausting 10 years, but it's been worth every second. Mm-hmm. I rolled into my 10-year high school reunion this year, and everyone was super nice to me. And I was like, I wonder if this has to do with wrestling. When I graduated from high school, I was 140 pounds, and now I'm pushing 190. So I'm wondering if like the 50 pounds of like extra me and the fact that I'm a professional wrestler now is what made them a little nicer.
Well, that or the fact that you could probably just kick their heads off.
Right? So
beat us up.
I'm usually pretty nice to anybody who can beat my ass. It's a personal policy.
Yeah, like my original inspirations when I first started, like I started at the age of 14 when I was training, and so it was like the Hardys and like CM Punk and Ring of Honor and Bryan Danielson and like Chris Hero and Sick Nick Mondo, and
that's a name I haven't heard in some time.
Yeah. Oh my God. I used to go on to Sick Nick Mondo had like this message board.
Yep.
And I was on there all the time. I was such a Mondo mark.
Dude, we probably exchanged messages on that board at some point, I'm sure. Because I was on there, yeah.
Do you remember when he used to be like, send me something that you like and I'll send you back an autograph?
Oh yeah.
Like, I still have a Tournament of Death photo signed by Sick Nick Mondo somewhere in my house. It's probably packed away somewhere. If I really tried, I could probably find it. But I was such a huge Sick Nick Mondo mark, and like, when I first started wrestling, I was just like Ring of Honor was just really starting out, and like I fell in love with that, and like just it was wild, man, and. I started going to indie shows around where I lived, so guys like Brody Lee when they were starting out, I loved when he was Huber Boy 2. He used to wrestle in Rochester, New York, and as Huber Boy 2, and he was awesome. And then like when he evolved into Brody Lee, I was like, holy hell, this dude is good. And I was like, it is ungodly that this dude doesn't have a contract yet. And then when he got signed, I was like, I can't believe it. Like, this is so cool. Like I watched his whole career up until that point, and now you get to see him on TV every week. So, it's just wild. And so it's like I pull like a ton of inspiration from everywhere. And there's a lot of people like even nowadays like I try to model myself after guys like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. I do like the high running knee. I do like the Death Valley driver into my knee. I call it the LA Riot. Because I didn't want to be that guy to be like, oh, I do the high running knee and the go to sleep, like.
Right. You didn't want to like completely.
I go from being an indie worker to being a huge mark at that point. So it's like I try to take a little bit from everything and mold it into one. Like I do, like we do the flying V for our finisher. We got like our Mighty Ducks themed gear, and so it's like that's the other thing too. I also try to take movie characters. And I take a lot of inspiration from movie characters.
So if you're one of the Mighty Ducks, which one would you be?
Probably Adam Banks.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I think I would be Goldberg.
I would probably be like, it's funny because everybody was like, you're the captain. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm the cake eater. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, I came up not like in a really good environment. Like, I didn't have a ton of money, but I was really good at what I did. Mm-hmm. And so it's like... I was like D5 cake eater, and then I was like cake eater against Iceland. And that's the other thing, too. The reason I say I'm not Charlie Conway is because Conway gave up his jersey and his ability to play in the championship game. What are you doing, Charlie?
No. He blew it.
Yeah.
Charlie.
My other question, this is my biggest question about that whole entire series.
Oh, here
How
it
do
is.
you crush Iceland, but you can't make varsity?
Unreal, dude. I can't. That still baffles me to this day.
Plot hole.
Unreal. This is
see on the jersey better stand for Charlie Conway because it don't stand for captain.
Oh man.
But, yeah, man. Like I said, I take a lot of inspiration from movie characters and like Tyler Durden from Fight Club. Like I there's a lot of times where I just start yelling at people, and then Tommy goes, "You went psycho," and I went, "It happens." Like. I go off sometimes.
That's funny. I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about Sick Nick Mondo, man. Like I used to there used to be this this music video on YouTube of like highlights of his like career, but it was set to like Atreyu's like lip gloss and black and stuff like that.
That was the Tournament of Death 2 video by Brutal Butcher Shop.
Dude, oh my god, what was the name of the shop again?
Brutal Butcher Shop.
Oh my god, I used to like.
It's still on there.
I was like poor as hell, like when that was like, because that was like early 2000s, and I didn't really like have a job or anything like that. But I used to like sit there and like, when I get money, I'm gonna buy this tape, and I'm gonna buy this tape, and I'm gonna buy this shirt, and like. Dude.
It blew my mind too because like that was like I loved Atreyu then, and then when I saw that video, I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
And then Becoming the Bull came out, and I was like.
No, I don't think a band has like lost so much favor with me as quickly as they did. Like they just like downhill. So Corey, I know has a question that he likes to ask every guest that we have on. It's a very core rudimentary question, but it's still classic. Corey,
it's a tough one. Who is your all-time favorite wrestler? Simple enough. Who's your favorite wrestler?
It's simple, but also complex in so many ways.
I guess.
No, it's so tough because I have so many favorite wrestlers. Like, if we were to go, like, 80s and 90s, Piper, all day.
Nice.
If we go to Attitude Era, it's probably Jeff Hardy. We go later on, probably would say CM Punk, and then this one's probably going to blow your mind. Recently, probably from like 2011, 12 on. John Cena.
John Cena.
You can't put Cena down.
You can't
John
see him.
Cena sucks.
Can't though. And here's the reason why. I think the reason I came around to John Cena, like I never liked John Cena. The reason I came around to John Cena was because it clicked in my brain as an adult that if I was running a company, I want a John Cena.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, the best part about John
Because-
Cena that makes him is people can love or hate him.
And tons of money.
Yeah,
he makes tons of money.
Yeah,
and he's great at what he does.
It's one of those things. He always will do it.
John Cena reminds me of Roman Reigns in the sense of like whether you like him or hate him, you have an opinion, and that's what they want.
Exactly.
You
and
get
when
a
people
reaction.
think wrestling, they think John Cena.
Absolutely.
No, yeah.
So it's like I want to get to that point where I'm John Cena, where people think wrestling and they go, oh,
Eric
Eric
Emanon. Yeah.
because like fun fact about Emanon, where that came from. My first match in September 11th of 2004 was a training match against my trainer with this kid that was teaming as my brother, Nate Ashton Emanon. We're essentially going to be Eric Shane and Nate Ashton. And Eric Shane came from Michael Shane. There's a throwback for you.
A little bit.
Right? From TNA, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, I was originally going to be Eric Shane, and my trainer was like, I don't like that. He's like, I don't like that at all. It doesn't fit you. And he's like, I'll think of a name. I don't have a name for you right now, but I'll think of a name. And then he was like, no name. I don't have a no name. Emanon. And I was like, what the hell is Emanon? And he goes, it's no name backwards.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
So I went on to make the PWI 500 last year.
We were talking about that, yes.
No name backwards is my last name.
Oh, that's
That's
funny.
so funny.
I actually, so not that I would ever want to drive a stake between the IndyCar Mafia. I was going to ask you about the PWI. So you clocked in at number 499, and
Scraped in.
and Tommy comes in at 497. Is there heat when you guys are in the car about like how are you 2 notches above me in the rankings, or is it all just like all love? Like, you know what, dude, I'll come for that 497 next year. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not even mad because he got 497, but my picture was on the page.
that is true. That is actually true. I saw
My name was highlighted. I had the picture on the page. He was like, I got 497. And I was like, but I got the picture.
Yeah.
That's what sells t-shirts, man. You put Eric Emanon in a magazine, you're gonna sell a t-shirt off of that.
Yeah, and I did. And if you want to buy t-shirts,
So
Absolutely.
So Joe, we actually have a before we get into plugging everything that you guys have up, we have queued up a promo that you guys have cut for a program that you guys are in right now in, was it AWE?
yep.
Against the Carney. So we'll go ahead and play this real quick, and then when we come back, we will go over everything that you guys got going on, and we'll do all the plugs and everything like that to
Sounds good to me.
plug all that stuff. So Joe, if you could.
Carrie, Nick, I guess you got our message. You see, AWE Faithful, we killed your heroes, and you still refuse to worship us.
See, we killed them up close, and we killed them from afar, because our reach is much greater than the room we stand in.
Our message is very clear. There is a bounty on your head.
And it's a bounty that I swear won't be paid in an IOU.
And we are coming for you. So Carnies, be prepared.
So if you're feeling beat up, if you're feeling broken down, just give us the Iggy. And I promise, we won't be awful anymore. We are the IndyCar Mafia and AWE. This is the takeover.
Super creepy.
Absolutely fantastic. I love your guys' promo styles. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
love the
pretty sweet.
videos. Like, that is like, and I was kind of talking to you about this earlier. Like, everything that you guys do has like a feel. Like, it almost like it feels like a brand.
Yeah.
Which is I like a lot. Like, I appreciate that coming from like us. Like, I know we try to strive for that as well, and we can definitely recognize it and we like it. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, that's really it, is we just try to create a brand. And that's what the IndyCar Mafia is all about, is we want to be able to sell this to somebody, sell this to a company. We want to, we don't look for bookings. We look to sell you our brand and say, hey, this is what we can bring to the table that we don't think you have yet.
Right.
And hopefully they buy it. And more often than not, they're like, hey, we like it. Or they just don't respond, which is really sad.
If you're a promoter and you're listening to this, respond. Come on, guys.
Yeah,
If you
please,
don't,
just be like, nah, kid, you're the Drizzles. I don't want you. And I mean, that's better than just like looking at my message and like me seeing the little circle right there.
Oh
with your
no.
message, and it's sad. It's heartbreaking sometimes. It's like I got this awesome resume built up, and I'm like, hey, I'd love to come in and work for you. Here's my resume. It's got all my promo photos, my matches, highlights. It's got promo videos, you name it. All my companies I've worked for, titles I've held, things I've done.
And then just nothing. You just have that little blue check mark in the corner there, like, yeah, we read it.
Yeah,
We're just not responding.
It's sad sometimes, like I said.
No more devastating feeling in the world. So
yeah, but you know what? Helps me get better.
Amen. I back that. So let's talk about what you guys got coming up. So you're in a program with AWE against the Carnies right now.
Yeah, we put out a hit on the Carnies. We went down there and we were in the tag tournament down there. We wrestled at the Southern Fried Gaming Expo. And in round 1, we fought the Carnies and the Spring Street Suicide Squad. And we upset the entire bracket. The Carnies lost to us. They eliminated the Spring Street Suicide Squad by submission, and we hit Kerry Awful with a flying V and pinned him for a 3 count. And nobody saw it coming.
To which I'm sure the crowd was devastated.
It took the air out of the room. And it was just wild because it's like nobody expected that. Who are these guys? Like, a lot of people, I think, expected us to lose in night 1 because of the fact that here we are, we're coming from out of town, nobody really knows of us down there, and they had advertised us a little bit, and, we had cut our promos for it, saying how excited we were, yada, 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 and, we went down there, and, there's no good guys and bad guys down there, it's just people, and we went down there, and I tried to babyface it up, and I got a few claps and cheers, and I looked at Tommy, and I went, time to be the villains, and we just turned it up, and everything we did, we stole night 1. And the second night, we got overconfident, and we fought the hierarchy of Chip Day and Murder 1. And the Carnies, they do 6, 6, 6. So I went out there. I'm wearing an old Team IOU mask that I had acquired. I don't want to say how, but I acquired it. And I'm coming out and I'm going 6, 6, 6. And the crowd just starts chanting sucks every time I do it. So just super heat. And we end up setting Chip Day and Murder 1 up for the Force Destroyer that Kerry Awful and Nick Iggy do. And we yell Force Destroyer, and the crowd just starts littering us with boos. And I go to throw the forearm to set up for the Force Destroyer, and I just clock Tommy, and I obliterate my tag partner, like to the point where like paint came off on my forearm.
Oh no!
And they roll us up, they get the stolen victory, they go on, they won the whole tournament, which seems to be the common trend. When we lose in tournaments, we lose to the guys who actually win the tournament
end up winning it
later
of
on.
course.
So
Can't feel that bad about it.
At least we lost to the best guys in the tournament,
right.
So. It was what it was, and we made our presence known in AWE that we wanted to be the tag team there, and so we put a bounty on the Carnies' heads, and we plan on going down there and making sure that bounty is cashed in. Nice. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, and I'm looking very much forward to going back to Atlanta because it's probably some of the best Waffle House I've ever had.
Oh my God. There's Waffle House, and then there's Waffle House in like Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's different. It's
so different. Like, I've had bad Waffle House, and then I've had Waffle House. And like nobody goes to Waffle House for the cleanliness of Waffle House.
No.
Like a sausage, egg, and like hash browns bowl was like that big.
Right. Oh my God. So I got to ask now that we bring up Waffle House, how do you do your hash browns?
Oh, crispy. You gotta have them crispy.
Yeah, I do.
Smothered and covered.
I do covered chunked. Covered is like the cheese. And chunked is the ham.
And diced.
I don't like onions. I'm not a big onion guy. So
smothered and covered is onions and cheese.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what I get.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I love
it. Guys.
Very relevant.
So let's go get Waffle House now.
Oh,
did we lost video feed there for a second? So what else? So what else is the IndyCar Mafia got coming up?
So next week we are going to be in Hazleton, Pennsylvania for Project Dive. I'm going to be in the main event, defending my Suicidal 6-Way Championship, which I'm horrified, excited about. Can't tell. It's going to be cool. There's a lot of really good competitors in that match. Like I said, Gavin Glass, Ace Austin, who is doing amazing things, Kenny Bangle, and Trajan Chubby Daddy Horn, who, if you said you followed me on Instagram, you probably saw that horseshoe mark that was left on my face.
Yep.
Yeah, that was from foot to the skull. It was like a discus boot to the face, and I had a horseshoe
Just
from
like
the foot.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking to get some revenge for that, and also hopefully leave Hazleton with my championship. Like I said, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a night of dives and just insane super indie fighting for no reason at all.
Entirely
yeah, man, we
extra.
got a lot coming on. We're gonna be coming up to NOW, I think, again very soon. Sometime in August, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be back there. There's a lot going on, man. There's always a lot going on. Follow us on social media. You'll be able to see in greater depth where we will be. I'm returning back to Brockport, New York for the first time in like 3 months in the end of September. So that'll be super cool as well.
So your guys' dance card is pretty much like punched and filled out for like the next couple months here. Sounds like you guys
Yeah, the
have,
remainder of the year is pretty tight. I mean, obviously there's still some weekends that I'd like to fill up a little bit more. So if promoters, you want a tag team that's super handsome and really good at what they do,
they get heat like no other. We've seen it firsthand, man, with you guys in NOW. You guys know how to get heat, so.
Yeah, NOW doesn't like us, man. Like
Yeah,
the crowd, we went in there one time. We were our first time there. We were really good guys, and we fought OI4K.
What?
And then we weren't back for 9 months.
What combination of OI4K did you guys?
It was Dave and
Trey,
Zach.
Dave and Zach.
Yeah, and so it was a good match. There almost was a video clip that went viral because after the match, Dave grabbed our manager and gave her a pile driver.
Oh,
out of nowhere.
That's a very Dave move.
And he was just like, here's a pile driver, boom, and she bounced. And like the thing is I saw her in the ring, and I like sat up on the outside of the ring, and I went nope, and then I laid back down because I wasn't about to take a pile driver.
You're like, nah.
And then I watched her bounce, and I went, not good. Yeah. And then I laid back down.
Holy cow.
That's funny.
There's a video clip of it somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah.
But it was all over the place for a hot second after that. And they didn't have us back for like 9 months, and there was a huge core roster change there. And then we've been kind of a mainstay there as the tag champs.
Yeah.
And the tag team scene there is so strange. It's like lots of weird combinations of people, but like Natural Aces, I'll give them credit where credit's due. They've got all the talent in the world for as young as they are.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Very young guys, and they know a lot for how young they are.
But they better learn not to overstep their boundaries, and if they want our gold, they're gonna have to beat us for it. And I really hope they understand that is like we're not gonna lay down because you guys are the hometown boys. Right. And I hope they're listening. If they're not listening, I hope somebody tells them about this because this is it. Like I will do anything that it takes in or outside of the rules to take somebody down. And I don't like giving up my gold. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a prop. It's just a championship. Well, guess what? It's my prop. It's my championship. And I did a lot to get here.
Amen. They have stiff competition ahead of them. If they have their eyes set on the NOW titles, like that's stiff competition to go up against. So
yeah,
we're no joke.
Hey, amen to that, man. So let's plug up the media real quick, man. I know you got the social media and all the hashtags appropriate to this episode.
My Twitter at Eric Emanon. You've got my Instagram at ICM_Emanon. You can find me ProWrestlingTees.com/Eric Emanon, Facebook.com/Eric Emanon Pro Wrestling. You can follow us everywhere. You got my new YouTube channel if you want to go check that out. Tons of promos. Only one episode up right now. I'm actually in the process of editing episode number 2 for my wrestling life. Which little tip on it? I can't find what I wanted to wear to my 10-year reunion, and this is what came of it. Because, you know, going into a 10-year reunion, you're like, oh, man, I look nothing like I did. I hope everybody remembers me. I hope people are impressed with the way I look. I hope people talk to me. I don't want to die. Like, it's like the anxiety starts stacking up just, you know, moment after moment. And it comes down to, you know, my old lady telling me, just do what makes you comfortable. And I'm going to leave it at that for you guys to see after that, you know? So
I look forward to it. Actually, I did, before we did the episode, I checked out the video of you showing how to like pack your gear for a, which is super funny. We'll link to all
That's a real struggle. Like, that's not even a joke. Like, that is me every weekend.
That's funny.
Going off my bag.
And we'll have links to everything for all of your social media and all of the Twitter and YouTube and everything like that. Make sure you guys are following, subscribing, promoters. Yeah, please. Get the IndyCard Mafia on your cards right now.
Please do.
So
please. We like to travel. We have gear. And we will wrestle for monetary compensation and Waffle House. True.
You're lucky. Waffle House is everywhere, so you're good.
It's not here. That's why it's so fun to get
no Waffle House there?
No.
Oh,
no.
Wow.
No,
our closest Waffle House, I think, is Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
Well, I will make a decree right now. The next time you guys are in Toledo, if you got some extra time, Waffle House with the ASL crew, it is on.
Let's please make it happen.
Let's run it. So we'll let you get back to the rest of your day, man. I'm sure you got a lot planned out. You're a busy guy. Thank you once again for joining us today, man. Definitely one of our better episodes. You've been fantastic.
Absolutely.
And yeah, thank
Talk
you.
To you guys soon.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right.
Exciting.
That was good.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Definitely learned a lot. I'm interested. I want to check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah, the video that I was talking about, he actually did a like a little like instructional, like step one, like double check to make sure that you remembered everything and realize that you forgot something, and then step two, find that thing and then realize that you forgot something else. Like it's super funny. Like it's really
the struggle of packing.
Yeah. So, but just imagine then you also have like a ton of tag team titles and a singles title and kick pads and all that stuff that you also have to pack as well. Like for its regular jag-offs.
And a lot of that stuff, like if you forget it, you can't just go out and buy it readily very easily.
Or if you're Dave Chris, you can borrow tights from a female wrestler on the roster and just wear pink tights like he did at Wrestle Circus, I think last month or earlier this month. So, you know.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
that was Eric Emanon. Fantastic guest. Fantastic show this week. Next week, we are going to be doing a kind of like a tournament special. We're going to be having James from one of our sister shows at Chick Flick Picks on the show with us. He's a big female wrestling fan, so he's going to be kind of cluing us in on some of the competitors for the Mae Young Classic.
Glow?
No.
Oh.
We're not going to be talking about Glow.
Why
We
not?
could probably talk a little bit about Glow.
Why not?
We could talk about Glow.
I was about to say, I heard it's a really good show. Have you peeped it out yet?
A couple episodes.
I watched the first couple episodes.
I haven't watched
forgot.
it yet. I really want to get around to watching it. But
well, maybe we'll do a audio suplex live. Watches Glow.
I think
it's okay.
I was just fucking around. I don't really.
I think it's
care,
okay. I wouldn't say it's amazing, although I haven't watched it all. But
right.
I was like, man, this is all right.
It's like every TV show, you probably have to get through the whole season to actually have a true opinion about it.
It's getting better. I should really finish it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to really cut
Oh, no. It's fine, dude. It's fine.
Wait, do you have a podcast?
All right, so we're going over the Mae Young Classic next week.
And that'll be the last day of the G1 Climax tournament, so we'll be kind of recapping the G1 as well, going over some of the matches that you may have missed, some of the stuff that you might want to go back and watch, and then just kind of like wrapping up on the G1 as well.
We're going to talk about any WCW stuff. You might as well throw out all the stuff I don't want to talk about in one episode.
Yeah, next week you're going to basically tune in and you're going to see Corey just like slumped over, he's going to be dead asleep behind those sunglasses. So then it's going to be just me and James talking about women's wrestling and Japanese wrestling, two of Corey's favorite things.
Just watch Corey play with the Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan like I've been doing all this whole episode.
Man.
It's been so much fun.
Oh man,
the positions you put him in, man.
Sexual.
So, but we'll then the week after that is SummerSlam. So we'll have our big SummerSlam extravaganza.
During that episode, we're going to go over who most accurately predicted the SummerSlam card.
Spoiler, it was probably you.
Yeah, although Jinder Mahal versus John Cena, not happening, which I thought was a lock.
I thought that was a lock. You and I both picked that.
Like, that's a lock.
I thought that was a lock,
No,
man.
they're not doing it. They switched it up on us.
What else we got going on? So we got that t-shirts. Make sure you guys hit us up if you want one. Get at us on Facebook, Twitter. It's all at Audio Suplex Live, and on Instagram as well. Make sure you guys are following us on there. We'll have an actual barbecue grill in here for the SummerSlam show, Joe. Right? We're gonna have like a George Foreman. Oh yeah. Let's cook up some brats and some
beach honeys too. Just walking around, dabbing us off.
I have a George Foreman.
2 weeks. George Foreman.
Actually, I do. I have a Foreman in my closet I have not used.
2 weeks. George Foreman's, Coronas, and we'll just have a SummerSlam
Coronas?
party. Yeah, that's a summer thing, right?
That's like if you go to a Mexican restaurant, you order a Corona with lime.
And since we're talking about Waffle House, I got like 3 waffle irons. So.
Do you really? Yeah. So just SummerSlam, Waffle House,
barbecue Coronas.
Party, Corona party. All right. Well, this episode's already kind of gotten all over the damn place. So we appreciate you guys checking us out. Make sure you guys are subscribing on YouTube, liking on Facebook. You can subscribe on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you guys get your podcasts at. So
we're coming for Spotify.
We are
someday
coming in hot.
We got to get on Spotify.
Yeah, so once again, guys, thank you guys for checking us out, and we will see you next week.
Hey, this is Joe, producer of Audio Suplex Live. We'd like to give a shout out to the band Wax for our intro and outro music. Make sure you check them out at the link below.
You've been listening to the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.